matching
If
furniture.
they don't have an experience where
For
you're
real.
having
We got
two of them,
a
they're not gonna
desk,
come back to the same
and they
one.
got
Oh,
a 3-drawer side table, and they got a big, huge, like 6-foot tall
Where'd you
armoire.
guys get the donation from?
There was a college or like a university that my social worker Danny found that had a big, huge estate sale closed down.
Your dad did?
So she went in
Oh, I
and
didn't
she
know
grabbed
that.
20 for
Sorry.
all 20 rooms. So they all will be uniform and they all will match.
prayers for you.
All curtains will match. We went in last, man, they got to see me and Missy last weekend. Well, my other drivers didn't like force them to do what they were supposed to do. So when Sunday came around, I still had stuff out on my sidewalk.
That's why.
And I
trimmed
knew
out
that
so
we had
many
bigwigs coming
is they
in
don't
from the
have visitors,
VA. I
like
knew
visitors.
that Home Depot was coming in to redo all of our
I'm
landscaping and
sorry
stuff.
that that
So
happened.
they did, it was beautiful.
They just want.
So I wanted to make sure that
Oh, it looks
everything was
very
off the
nice.
sidewalks
Good
for
trimming.
the photos
Looks
and the
good.
wigs, you know? So I was like, no, I started knocking on doors and I was like, no, this is going in. Either we're doing it or I'm gonna get somebody to come over here and do it, but it's going in your room, period. So I just took charge. And ever since that, they're opening doors. I got saluted when I left work yesterday. I was like, I'm not even, but thank you, you know, whatever. You know. But yeah, they're all, I just had to be less nice. And I hate that. But I guess it's necessary. I got a new hoodie.
That's good. Did you make it?
No, from work. For a year, I've been trying to get my hands on this green hoodie with this certain BPH decal that all the other ones have. And they said, we're out of your size. If you find what it is. I was like, yeah.
That works.
So I made ribs in a smoker on Sunday.
Boneless or bone in?
Bone in.
You like to be messy, huh?
Huh?
You like to be messy, huh? You animal.
Yeah. It's the only way to do it.
I gotta show.
Oh, that's pretty. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Oh, on the road.
Got about 10 minutes.
Very cool. Very cool. And that's what it looks like in the front. Very cool. So you're doing okay with your stuff online?
In person.
Oh.
This is all.
Wow. Good for you. Very cool.
Here she is. How you doing, Kim?
Good, how are you?
Okay.
Hi.
Coffee? Wow. Oh, that's very, very cool.
Hey.
Yeah, I like that. That's neat. Very cool. Very cool. I like stuff like that. Very cool. I like it. All different colors. Very cool. Yeah. Different sizes. Yeah. Very cool. Your kids could do that. Kids could do that.
Hang in there. I felt a little great today for some reason. I don't know
How
what
many
it
girls
is.
do you have? Oh, good.
How old is your granddaughter? How old is the granddaughter?
She just turned 5.
Cool.
Yeah?
I've been out of town for
And then this one's
a half. I got back last night.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
And,
I can imagine.
surprise.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. So you must be
I
tired.
just wanted to
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
And then
I can imagine trying to catch up. Yeah.
Very
They
cool.
take a lot of energy, really. It's amazing. Oh my gosh.
And somebody saw it.
There she is.
she was good for you. Come to class with me. And she would just sit in the back. I used to have a large lecture hall.
Cool.
So she would sit in the back. And, you know, maybe 7, 5, 6 of them. And really big. I need to go.
2
potty.
bolts. I don't know what.
So you can see it, yeah.
So I could see it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny, and I couldn't really do anything.
Okay, 7 minutes.
Yeah, that was. Well, she was smart to do that, though. You can think that way.
Just about figured out reading, not quite. Her older sister is 6. And, she's skipping 2nd grade.
camera, microphones around it.
Yeah, Gunther, he was history, English and German, but he was high school. Yeah. I remember we used to go and he'd take I think he had like advanced classes or something, he'd take down in Champaign, was it, I think? Once a year or something, they had classes he could take, you know, kind of refresher. He always liked it, we used to go. I'd stay and swim and he'd learn.
Well, I'm glad they moved to Kansas City, because previously it was in Tampa. And she would want to go with me.
Yeah.
And in the end, the amount of money that I would make would all be spent.
Right, it broke even, yeah.
So she had a nice vacation.
Yeah,
But
1 minute.
yeah.
So, which one is Kansas City?
Where does that take you to get to?
I was thinking that was,
10:30.
they did it on a motorcycle, not on highways, just all
Nice roads, back roads.
back roads.
Okay. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. And can I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Lopez? Here. Trustee McMahon? Here. Trustee Lacewell?
Here.
President Bain?
Here.
Trustee AG? Here. Trustee Wolford?
Here.
Trustee Panel?
Here.
Tom Green?
Okay, we have a quorum. So, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion to approve the minutes. These are the committee meeting from May 13th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments or anything? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. Let's do the bills. Okay, so for the bills, we have water testing, 146, 118, 970, 146, sewer testing, 174, water testing, 17, sewer testing, 174, water testing, 100, water testing, 146, and half of the testing contract, 3958.34, and the other half, 3958.33. Cordray, we had 2 loads of chips come in for a water main break, 2270. Biscotti Computers, 126. Exelon, there's the Exazion, I think it's called. They're the people that did our state audit, 12,000. Collins Sanitary, Hydrovac the lift stations, 1250. Collins Sanitary, J jetted the sewer lines on North 6th Street, 750. Casey's, 31815. KPH, our solar facility, 3220, 3526, 36. Gina DeRose, zoning inspection, 95. Frontier, 42194 and 93417. Ace Hardware, 918. Sikich, 358050. Barrett Switzer, 414 and 2520. Hawkins for chemicals, 24588. And Menards for 2754 and 35069. And the Illinois Rural Water Association dues, 40940. The total is 39,156.48, of which 23,439.85 will come out of the general fund, and 15,716.63 will come out of water and sewer. Have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have 2. One, trailer park again?
Say that
Attorney
again?
fees, we're still paying attorney fees for the trailer park?
It's the real property where we're getting
Yeah.
it removed from the tax rolls and getting the map changed. I was in conversation with Jennifer Roberts at the county.
But that was already done last month.
It wasn't done, it had been worked on.
You had talked about it last month.
We did, yeah.
My other question is Frontier, is that for the sewer? Because I thought we had CERT for the village,
So it's
for internet and,
They weren't able to actually set up down there, so we only have it for the village. Surf internet is only for the village hall. They were not able to set up down at the well 3.
oh, well,
That's where it's
so
gonna be at Well
Frontier's for well.
Frontier will continue at well 3. They
But
sat
does
there
the
for
sewer
weeks.
plant have its own too, or
No.
it's on CERT?
Yeah, it's on. No. Surf does not go out to the sewer plant. They actually stop at the bike path. They don't. Go,
Oh, okay.
They don't go more south of
Got it.
Worcester.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten a bill yet for surf for the village hall?
So, yes, we've had bills for the surf, and actually, they've credited us because I got on the phone with them and let them know since because we had made a payment to Surf Internet for 160 Cloud Mist, and I didn't think that that was right. So I got on the phone with them and they credited us.
Okay.
Yeah, so then, that's why our last bill was only, I think, $70, don't mark my words for that, but it was only $70, so they did credit us.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Can I have a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Trustee McMahon?
Aye.
Trustee Leesville?
Aye.
President Bing?
Aye.
Trustee AG?
Aye.
Trustee Warford?
Aye.
Trustee Canal?
Aye.
Trustee Colpass?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Public comments? Okay. Old business, don't have any.
Can I ask a question?
Pardon, yeah.
On the trailer park again, how is that money gonna get repaid to the trailer park? All the
What
property
money?
taxes that they're paying into Capron?
They haven't asked for anything back yet.
They have to get it back though, it was
They have
never
not.
Capron's to begin with.
They have not.
They haven't asked for anything.
And they're just correcting the bill. Or removing it from the tax rolls.
So Capron's keeping all that money they had no right to?
They are, I mean.
Property taxes they were paying
I
to
did ask
Capron?
that
There's
question,
something
and
wrong
they said,
here.
we're just getting it corrected, we're not looking back.
And that's the attorney's view of it?
Pardon?
That's the attorney view of it?
It's a view that is advantageous to us.
Do you wanna
They
write them a
wanna-
check?
they
There's
wanna-
something wrong here. You can't take money that isn't yours and not give it back.
Well, call the governor.
Yeah, well,
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna, if they ask for it back, we'll
I
be
brought
glad
it
to
up,
refund it.
and
so
they
where's
said-
that money gonna come from though?
If
The village has
push
been
comes to
spending it
shove,
right along.
if push comes to shove and they want their money back, then we'll figure out where it comes from.
But it's not right to give it back when it was taken and we didn't have a right to it, I'm saying. And I'm sure the attorney knew. I'm sure he got financial reports and you knew all this money was going on.
I
We've
mean,
been having
that I
trouble with the
knew,
trailer
so
park for 20 years.
You think I didn't know it hadn't been, I didn't know it had been identified as in Capron. It never
But it
should
should have shown
been.
up on
It was their mistake, it
financials.
was the county's mistake, it was the assessor's office mistake.
The county's the one that should refund them their money.
We didn't make any mistakes, they made the mistake.
But you kept the money. You must have a list of people who
It was the trailer,
you get the property taxes from, no?
it was the one property, the trailer park,
Right.
owned by Real Op. It was one property.
Well, it wasn't called Real Op until he was gonna build all
Whatever,
those houses. It
whoever
was
owns
always the
that-
trailer
I
park.
really don't think,
The large piece that is the mobile home park is the only park that was impacted. It didn't impact anybody else in the village.
But they were paying property taxes, which they shouldn't have been doing.
well,
And Capron was taking it.
I understand your concern, but the way I feel about it is that if the county wants to eat their mistake, then the county's gonna eat their mistake. I'm not
Well,
gonna.
they're not gonna do
I'm not
that.
gonna force the issue to give them the village's money back. Okay? I mean, I don't know even how far back to go to do that or anything.
I did have one contact with the Illinois Department of Revenue on it, and we didn't get any indication that we needed to take any steps whatsoever. And it only impacted that one piece of property.
Will the county like reimburse for your fees to do all this?
No.
No, that isn't gonna happen
It
either.
is not gonna
No.
But will we have something at least prove that it's not us, so there's no need to figure out who it's between with the lawyer side, or?
There will be an updated zoning map that shows that they are no longer in
Okay,
Capron.
I just didn't want.
They've already removed on their map, they've already removed the trailer park from the village.
Okay.
I got a copy of it this morning, and it's correct now, so it's a legal document, they are no longer,
Okay, I just know it's happened quite a few times, I just wanna make sure this is the last time we have to deal with it.
this is the last time,
Okay.
okay? All right. Okay, so can I move on to the next item on the agenda? Sidewalks. If I understand it correctly, the village is responsible for the safety of the sidewalks in town, am I correct?
If they're in the right of way, it's our responsibility.
Okay, so we have a number of sidewalks that are in deplorable condition, okay? And we can use MFT funds to repair these sidewalks. In fact, we're actually supposed to. They are supposed to be brought up to ADA compliance. I don't know how many of you have walked up and down Ogden, but when we redid the water mains and repaved that roads and then redid all the sidewalks, they got those pads at the end and they've got the angles correct and everything. These sidewalks have to meet that requirement, so we are going to have to work with Sickich, our engineering firm, and they're gonna have to design the sidewalks, and then we're gonna have to get them, the old ones removed and the new ones put in, and I'm talking on 4th, 5th, and 6th Street, okay? There's about 600 or 800 linear feet of sidewalk, okay? And they're running about $20 a linear foot, somewhere in that neighborhood, to be compliant, according to some of the people I talked to in a couple of the townships. I'm overestimating about $50,000. We have $150,000 in our MFT fund. I don't have enough money there to continue doing the paving that we've been doing, but it's time to catch up on the sidewalks that we need to get done.
And this is the first I've heard of this, there are some communities that have ordinances that relate the sidewalk responsibility for maintenance back on the property owner, even though it tends to run in the front right of way. I don't recall our ordinance saying that, I'd have to look.
All right, we'll
I
have to
think
look
if
that up.
I could be wrong, but I think it's if they're doing repairs, then they are responsible, but the village has a 50/50 program right now,
Right.
that if you
Okay.
do the repairs, then we will.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
reimburse you.
other communities doing a
Yeah.
program like splitting it 50/50 and so
Yeah.
on, so it is worth double checking the ordinance.
Okay, I will do that, okay, and then, I'll double check the ordinance and I'll give everybody the facts at the next meeting, and then we can make a decision on which way we wanna go, okay? But in any case, I mean, some of the sidewalks are, the roots are coming up from trees and stuff, and they've gotta get done, all right? All right, next is the solicitation permit. We talked about we passed the ordinance at the last business meeting, and I asked Crystal to put together a permit form based on the requirements that we're looking for. So what you have is the old solicitation permit is one that's got the Village of Capron on it, and the new one is attached to the solicitor's, the front page application. So we're not gonna vote on this tonight, obviously, but I want you all to take a look at this and make sure it's got everything in it that you want to have in it. If you want something rearranged or something reworded, the next meeting would be the time to bring this to our attention, and I'm sure Crystal will be happy to accommodate us, okay?
Can I add one thing? There is in quotations, because you guys have not come up with fees, so I did not put in a fee. So the packet one is the new one, the single sheet one is the old one.
Okay.
So I just didn't know if you guys wanted more information, so that's why I did the packet one.
Is it, here it says license and here it says permit. What are they going to get, a permit or a license?
So, you're right, so the old one is just, it was just a mock-up one, quick and easy, because there wasn't one that existed before, so we just put that one together. But it was just worded wrong, so it would just be a permit application, and then they would just take a copy of the
Oh,
application,
so it's a
right, to go
permit.
around, yeah, so it'd be a permit, yes.
Okay. All right. The door to well number 2, we were supposed to do this last year. It's rusting out and there's gaps at the bottom of it, and and we're getting rodents in the building, etc. So it's time to replace that door. I don't remember what the quote was for it from the last
Roughly
time.
$11,000.
$11,000.
But it goes up as well, I think that was
Yeah.
the smallest quote.
We're gonna double check that and get a new quote for it, but it's gonna have to get replaced, okay? So I'll let you know that the next time, all right? The next one is, I wanna talk about this. I'm talking about spending a little bit of money this week, okay? But I wanna remind everybody that between the general fund and the water fund, we have $2 million, okay? So what I'm talking about is a small percentage of that $2 million, and we projected a budget surplus this year. We've had a surplus every year since I've been here, so we'll be able to probably make this up over a period of time. But we talked about well number 3, okay? And this is going to be an expensive repair. There's nothing I can do about it. The system failed. It came with a 1-year warranty. It's been underground and operating for 6. So there's no indemnity here. I don't think we can go after anybody for any leak. We don't really have solid evidence that it was installed properly or the wrong materials were used. We don't have anything like that. So what I'm giving you here is a pretty thick packet, but it's a lot of my email correspondence back and forth with Municipal Well and Pump and our engineering firm, and some of the options that were available. The one that I'm choosing here is the one for $88,800, which is the one that our engineering firm recommends that we do, and it also happens to be the cheapest, okay? The other 2 estimates run up in excess of $128,000. So this will get the job done, yeah.
In the $88,000 one, however, there's a caveat in the scope of work. It says city is to provide excavating contractor to dig around pit. City is providing excavating to hook up underground piping, and also may or may not need to do an electrical contractor. So that 88,000 is gonna be more than.
Well, it's gonna be more than that, but this is just for that repair. We're using Municipal Well and Pump. They've already dug it up, so that we could look at it and find out what the problem was, okay? So now they had to bury it back down because we had to hook up. We just have to suffer the problem with this leak until we get it fixed, because we need to have well number 3 online in case something happens to well number 2. So it's hooked up, we can use it. We're draining off the water as best we can, but the bottom line, this is kind of an emergency situation, so it's got to get done. And the reason for this resolution is I don't want to waste my time looking for quotes on this and having to go through that process. This needs to get completed, and it needs to get completed as soon as possible. I have full confidence in Municipal Well and Pump to get the job done. They're a very, very reputable and very large organization, and they know what they're doing, and we need to get this done. So it's probably gonna cost us, I don't know, an additional $15,000 to get this done, something like that, but the bottom line, I don't see, there's no way around it, it's gotta get fixed, okay?
So you're looking at 88,000 plus another additional 15, is that what
15
you're?
to 20.
Yeah, but there's no, I mean, I can't patch them, but
Weren't there other options you said?
there are no other options.
What about where you said here, you had one message and it
This
said
is,
about
this is a casing that failed, okay?
going against an insurance claim was on the one note, you can't do
You
that.
can't do that because it's been underground, that it's.
Too long.
It's not,
I
it's
knew the
not, it's
warranty
not,
wouldn't cover,
it's
but
not vandalism, it's not act of God, it's not any of those things.
Right,
In the
but-
initial conversation the President and I had, there was some discussion about perhaps it was installed improperly. And so can we make a claim? And I said, we'll call IML RMA and talk to them about it. But it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
The opinion of whether it was actually, what caused the filtration into the screw could have been 2 or 3 different reasons. And I think they just
Never
said,
will know.
we really can't go back that far, we can't prove it.
Okay.
We're
But
gonna
you
make
said-
sure this time that everything is properly documented and inspected, and I have a report of everything that happens, okay? There's not gonna be any, this one said that, or that one, we're gonna get a signed report that certifies this installation, and it's gonna be done right, okay?
What was the difference between the 88,000 quote and the $120,000 quote you said?
Materials. And how the pieces go together, okay? One is a welded connection, which is a lot more expensive than the threaded one that was supposed to be used, okay? But when they pulled this thing out, the threads were gone on both sides, okay? On the male and female,
Right.
there were no threads left, okay? It was just, they were just gone,
Right.
okay?
Stop.
And I don't know what caused that, nobody does, okay? So, it could be an acidity in the soil. Now, we're changing, the new one is going to have a thicker wall for the piping. It's gonna be made out of a much more reliable material. So, it's all gonna be upgraded so that we shouldn't have to worry about this anymore. But this is what our engineers recommend. I'm not an engineer, so I'm gonna do what they tell me to do. That's what we pay them for. And these people are here. They're available to get this done. There's believe a 2-week lead time for parts, okay? So once we approve this in 2 weeks, we can't approve it tonight. But if we approve this in 2 weeks, then we can get it done, probably have it fixed up and ready to go by the end of July.
So what's this say 10 to 12 week delivery then, under the scope?
Well, everything is fluid, okay? It could take 2 weeks, it could be 6 weeks, I don't know. I know he's got on here 10 to 12, but they also told me 2, so, the bottom line is this is what we need to do. I'm sorry it had to happen on our watch, but this is where we're at. That's what the money's there for. Okay? Any other discussion? All right, we'll talk about it and vote on it in a couple weeks, okay? Next is this is, municipal well and pump. All their information that I went through with them, okay? That's what the next packet is here, that's pretty thick, all the emails. Next, when we talked about the playground, I had another meeting with the Belvedere Park District and the Conservation District that came out here, and we had a discussion, and now I feel that the Conservation District is interested in going forward with this, so the Park District gave me some names and numbers and websites of people that sell playground equipment, and these I'm giving you are a couple of examples, like here's a 4-seat swing set, and the price is $0 to $5,000, so I put down $5,000. Here's a jungle gym that's $0 to $5,000. Here's a teeter-totter that's $0 to $5,000. There's a slide that's $0 to $10,000, and it comes with a little like hut at the top and stuff like that. So this is feasible, all right? What I want to know is if we're interested in doing this, because I asked him to put me on the agenda for the board meeting, so I can go and talk to them about this, but I don't want to do it if the village isn't interested in it.
Are they gonna go like 50-50 on this stuff, or what's
Well,
the plan?
here's what I'm thinking, okay? If we don't do it, then I'm gonna have to buy, or we're gonna have to buy a piece of property from somebody to put a playground on it. It's probably gonna cost us $35,000 to do it, okay? And then we still have to buy all the equipment. If we can get into an intergovernmental agreement with the Conservation District, where they allow us to use the property and we purchase, install, and maintain the equipment, I mean, that's not gonna cost that much, okay? I asked the Park District, I said, how much time on their smallest park, which is what we're talking about, how much time a month do they spend on that? And they said 30 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so once it's up and going, it's not labor intensive, all right? I mean, we're gonna have to probably put up a couple garbage cans and stuff and some benches, but Even picnic tables, we get picnic tables, nice plastic picnic tables for like $600-700, okay? So we're not talking, I'm thinking $35,000 to put in a nice playground over there by the Conservation District and a couple of picnic tables to boot. I know we're talking about spending this money on this well, but like I said, we have, between all our accounts, we have $2 million in the bank, and we're not supposed to sit on that stuff, we're supposed to use it. Yeah,
Can I ask, what is this?
that's a slide,
That's a
It is
slide.
a slide.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
you have it, I think you have it flipped wrong, maybe it's flipped wrong.
It looks like Thor's hammer. I can't
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought maybe
It looks,
was
that's a slide,
It's like
okay?
this way.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a shadow, I think it's a shadow,
Should we
right?
look for grants? to
And
help
this
with
is like a shadow.
Oh, okay.
You know, grants are based on need.
Okay.
Like I said, we have $1.3 million sitting in a general fund.
All right.
I talked to our engineering firm about grants for the water main over here. He said, yeah, it's based on need. If you've got the money, they're not gonna give you any. Okay, so, I'm trying to, I looked at, the village does not own any recreational equipment or facilities at all. The only ones that are owned are by the Lions Club and the school district. We don't, as a village, have nothing, okay? And I think we're a big enough village that we should have something, okay? For our kids to play around in or hang out in, or even have, like, have an outdoor craft show or whatever. We don't have a place for that. And I think it's high time we did, especially for the kids on the south side of 173, because they got nothing, all right? And I think it's high time we did that, and I think this is probably the most economical way to do it. I think it's a good place to do it if we keep the playground equipment south towards Ogden Street and put the picnic tables and stuff north towards 173. And once 173 gets built, and I'd like to be ready for 173 to try to do this stuff afterwards. So I just think it's something that we really ought to take a look at, and do.
And
Yes.
also, what happened to the used ones? Were there anything wrong with those, or
With what?
the used ones you were talking about at the one?
Well, I think this is refurbished equipment.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Yeah, it's not new.
Oh, okay.
No,
I didn't know you were
no,
talking about
yeah.
refurbished.
Yeah, I asked them about used equipment. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what this stuff is, so, okay? And I don't have the sign on the agenda because you guys asked me to get a quote for installation, and I haven't got it yet, so I didn't know sense talking about it till I get a number, okay? So, but I think we can do all that stuff. We have the money to do it, and I think these are things that, I just like people to know that our village is moving forward instead of just standing still, and these are a couple of good indicators of that, so, okay. So we'll talk about it in 2 weeks, and you'll let me know whether I can move forward with those, okay? All right. Next, I want to talk about the manholes. This is what we did. We were doing new task orders all the time, and our accounting firm, the people that do our audits, were having a hard time following the trails from one task order to another and how they fit together. So we had a task order number 4, which was the wastewater treatment plant capital improvement plan. Because of that, we did the smoke test. Because of that, we're doing the manhole covers, right? So it's all part of the same thing, but now we're gonna call this task order number 4, phase 1, okay? And when we're done with what we got outlined on this and we go to the next thing, then it'll be task order number 4, phase 2, etc. And that way, everybody will be able to follow the trail for what it is we're doing. So the bottom line is, we ordered the 59 manhole covers from Core and Main and the associated products that go with it. This has to do with the actual rebuilding and refurbishing of the 38 manhole covers that need to be repaired, okay? So what they had originally had on here is they had 3 site visits. I asked for an extra one. We're doing 38 manhole covers, so basically every 10 I want somebody out here to review the work that was done and give me a report on what it is. So I added that, so that's what we have in here. It's a pretty standard document. I think this document covers $19,000. What we did is we budgeted $100,000 for this. We spent 10 at Core and Main. We're spending, let's say, 20 on this, so at least 70 now for these 38 manhole covers, and we'll just see how far that goes. And if it bleeds into next fiscal year, then we'll just allocate more money for it and get that phase done, and then we'll move on to the next project. It's just the way it's gotta be, okay? So if you guys wanna review that and have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer them at the next meeting, okay? Next on the agenda are code violation fines. Crystal was talking to me, and we've had situations where, and we have one right now, where we have a house on Ogden Street that the gentleman is incarcerated, and the house is in foreclosure, and the realtors know about it, and the grass is pushing 2 feet tall, and the only option I have at this point is to have Mike mow it and charge them and put a lien on the property. Here's my problem. It cost us, what, $47? Cost us $47 to put a lien on a property and $47 to remove it. So if we find somebody $50, it costs us $100. Okay? Now, if you remember correctly, what we did with building code, building permit violations, is we allowed those to be added to the water bill as a lien on the water bill, and if they don't pay that, then their water gets shut off. So, again, I'd like to visit the idea that if you don't pay your fines, you kind of don't get our services. Tom?
I have a question. So are we we're gonna do a force mow where we go out and mow it?
Yeah, it may come to that, yeah.
Okay, so all that cost is, can be placed as a lien on the property. I believe the ordinance says it's up to $50 a day. So you could say it's been over 12 inches for a month, and instead of $50, it's 30 times $50.
So can I say something? My only concern with that though is in the past, when we do liens, for the most part, we're gonna have an owner come in that's gonna purchase that house, and they're probably gonna come to the board and ask for, you know, to have that lien removed, stating that they are the new owners, they didn't know of the property. So again, then it's up to the board, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing by any means. So if the board feels like it's the right thing to do, then they remove the lien, and we still lose the money. So I guess my thing is why not do the same thing as we do with the building permits? If somebody doesn't pay it, why not just put it on their water bill, shut their water off, and they're gonna need the water, so why not put that $50 that's on there? Because I mean, the new owners are gonna purchase that house, and I mean, we're gonna hit them with a $1,000 bill when they didn't even know that that even existed.
When you buy a house, you pay the liens, and.
That's right.
The other communities that I rent virtually never have a property
After
owner
lawyer
come in and
costs
say,
and
hey, I'm
everything, it
buying
costs so
this
much money.
house, and I see there's a mowing lien, I want you to forgive it. I mean, they never do that.
And they see the liens
We've
before
done
they
it.
Liens
buy
are on
it.
there.
Yeah, they see the line, the
We've
title
done
company,
it
the
for a lot of
attorneys,
companies will show
yeah.
But we've done it before for on South Third Street,
Yeah, we did.
or North Third Street, we just did it where we released the lien and we didn't make anybody pay for it. And then that cost attorney fees, because then we had to do that. I'm just saying, I just think the easiest way to do it.
But wait, why did we release it?
Because we sold it to Capron Rescue. And so I'm just saying, I'm not saying
Well,
that.
that's a little different.
But I'm just saying, that's just an example, it's happened in the past as
Yeah,
well.
no,
But liens
Crystal's
have
right,
either
it has
one,
happened in the
haven't
past.
even been
Other
found
people
through
have come in.
county, so then you'll go through 3 owners, and by the 3rd owner, then it's found. I'm just saying, if it's on the water bill, it shows
It
the
should be-
$50 fees on there.
It should be coming up automatically. And when they do that title search, that shows all the liens and stuff on there.
I'm just saying, that's just the way I've
I
dealt
don't
with
know
it.
how, unless it wasn't filed properly, it would
Right.
come up on top.
Because for an
So
example,
let
that was
me,
the 3
let me ask
owners
you a
on Third
question.
Street
If
before
I
Capron Rescue
find
bought it.
somebody $50 and put a lien on their property, okay, today, all right? And then tomorrow I want to find them another $50, can I just up the lien, or would I have to pay a whole nother fee? And
You'll pay a whole other fee, but it wouldn't do it that way. You'd send somebody a letter and say, your grass is too long, pay it within 10 days, or pay it within, mow it within 10 days, or mow it within 2 weeks. And the fines, I think it's a minimum of 50, there might be a maximum of $100 a day or whatever. And then if they don't pay it within the 14 days, now you've got $1,400 in fines. You have the $300 or $400 that the village paid to have it mowed. And then you got a $2,000 expense, and you file that as a lien on the property, and it sits there until the
Right.
property sells, and then they
Right.
gotta pay the $2,000.
Can I just go back to my first thing, though? That property that we did, that Capron Rescue did buy, it went through 3 owners before Capron Rescue found the lien.
That-
Just to show you, that's how it happens.
That is bizarre.
That is.
It did
Because
happen,
was
'cause I know the
properly
people that actually
filed,
owned
the
it
title
previously.
company- I mean, if it's properly filed, it's on
Yeah.
the title and the title.
Because the
company
home was,
filed.
there was a house on that property and it came down and it was condemned. So that's why the lien was placed there to begin with. Then it went through at least 3 new owners, then Capron Rescue bought it and now has sold
It's
it.
possible that they didn't go and get title work on those, you know, it was
Right.
like somebody quitclaim deeded it over to somebody.
Yes.
that
I
Didn't
mean,
go
that's
through title
possible.
work. But if you file a lien and somebody wants to get a mortgage,
Right.
buy a house and get a mortgage, they're gonna get an insurance policy, they're gonna get a title policy, they're gonna get a mortgage policy,
Yeah.
and that lien has to be paid.
Right.
Okay.
So there are a couple of ways to try and, you know, recoup our costs. It's not immediate. The lien may sit there for a few years. I mean, I get calls from other communities, I get calls on other stuff that I do, where they're like, oh, you had a judgment back in 2018 and it's, you know, $5,000. We're selling on that house, can I get a lien release? Absolutely. Pay me $5,000, you know, and then that's what they do.
Okay. Oh, so you get the money?
No, I don't I give it on behalf of my client, and I forward it to my client. But that's the whole point.
Right.
Okay.
It's a nice call to say, hey, you know, 5 years ago, we got a judgment, and now all of a sudden, we're gonna get paid.
Okay. Okay?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. Next on the list here, I got OMA training. I want to remind you all, you got to do your open meetings training, okay? If you don't, you're going to get fined, okay? So get with Crystal, she'd give you the link or whatever. It's real simple. It's
You got 90
20
days.
20 minutes, and at the end, you get to print out a certificate. Make sure that Crystal gets a copy of your certificate, okay? And she's gonna keep hounding you until you get it done. So, please do that, okay? Next on here is, I'm at the end of my list. Trustee Kopaz, you got anything?
Nothing.
Okay. Trustee McMahon?
No.
Okay. Trustee Lacewell?
Just the food truck idea.
Well, let's talk.
I had an idea about asking if maybe some food trucks wanted to come to town once or twice a month
Okay.
and sell their products. Maybe we could contact them. It was just a small idea, something we could talk about.
Where would you
Develop.
like to, what were your thoughts on where you want to have this happen?
I don't know, let's talk about it. Maybe
Okay.
downtown or where else?
Well, the Lions Club probably would be able to participate in it.
I wanted to get foot
Or do you want it
foot
downtown?
work
I think you need to
downtown.
have it downtown.
Cause
Okay,
like, you know, we have businesses that are
Hey.
closing
No,
because
okay.
they're not getting
Yeah, we
enough
can do it downtown.
people.
I knew it would
Sure
be
we
4th
could.
Street by the old hotel.
You know, I wanna think about maybe if it's gonna be in the summer, by where this playground's gonna be.
We could
That
do
was
it,
another
we
idea.
could do it a number of
Areas.
ways. We could do it like on 4th Street and have it actually blocked off between 173 and Ogden. And like have a little food truck gallery there. for
Like a
people to walk
block
through.
party kind of thing.
Once or twice a month, we could probably handle that, okay? I think it'd probably be a good idea, all right? Get a
We'd
little
have to
activity
do a lot of
downtown, all right?
advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Social media.
give people
We'd
a
have
little
to
bit.
do a lot of
This is the kind
advertising.
stuff-
Easy.
You know, this is the kind of stuff, including, you know, like the playground and stuff, to try to enhance the life around here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there any chance we could get picnic benches and benches for the gazebo on the village green?
well, I wanna do that with the conservation district too. I wanna put some picnic benches and some
Yeah, 'cause
park
then you could
benches.
just go there, go to Rose's and
Well,
sit
yeah,
up there
if we,
and trade
if we
water.
can expand it, yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to do. I wanna make Capron look like a town that you wanna get to instead of through.
Yeah, bring
okay?
them to town.
I know 173 has a lot to do with it, but now that they've had their open house and now we know what they're gonna do, they're gonna get it done eventually, and I'd kinda like just to be ready for that, so that we're not playing catch-up on these things, we have the funds to get it done, and yeah, I think it would be a real good idea, so I think doing the food truck, would be a real good idea, so, you wanna handle that?
I think.
You want some help?
Well, I would definitely need some help. I
Okay.
have some ideas for food trucks. I would need help with advertising, because, I'm busy,
Okay.
very busy.
Wow.
But I
Okay.
would need help, and I would need ideas,
Okay.
contacting these food trucks, getting them to want to come to our town.
Anybody here wants to volunteer?
People
No?
from town, what do they want to come to our
Do a
town?
survey on Facebook.
Yeah, what do
Absolutely.
they want from our
Alright, so,
town? What does the town want?
If a couple of you guys want to get your heads together and put together something,
Yeah.
contact some food trucks, see what's available, pick a date.
They have my email,
Stuff like
you know.
that, so.
Email
Okay.
me, let me know what
Anything?
they want.
Glenn?
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, me too, so, okay. All right, next, trustee Agee.
I just want to remind everybody of the garage sale dates. They are July 11th through the 13th. And then also I had an idea of starting a school supply box where you can bring donations of school supplies for the elementary school. I've talked to some of the teachers and the principal at the elementary school. Yes, we buy supplies for the kids every year, but halfway through the year, they run out. Teachers are going out and spending their own money to resupply some of these things. And I'm just thinking if we can get the community to maybe donate to pens, pencils, Post-it notes, postcards, what can we supply these classrooms with so that the teachers don't have to dip into their own pockets to try and supply more supplies for the kids as they run out through the year. And I would like it to run for whenever we approve it until like July 31st, so that we can run it a majority of the summer and then be able to distribute that stuff to the classrooms before school starts, because I think our school year starts this year, I want to say on the 14th of August. So, that's all I have.
You have the reminder of the garage sale.
I already did that.
You already did that. Okay. Linda?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Penal?
And nothing.
Okay. Anybody got anything? You have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. See you guys in 2 weeks.